Welcome to the fourth part in our Cultural Agility series. Last week, we talked about the importance of varying and mutating as a habit for organizations dealing with change. This week, we're going to explore the process and power of simplicity. One extraordinary lesson from nature is the power of simplified rules and principles. For example, water always seeks its own level. This rule applies without regard to convenience or the effect on humans. So how does this idea apply to change in business? I walked into a UPS store recently to drop off an Amazon exchange and return. The process was described clearly to me by Amazon. Take the package to the UPS store and show them the email with the return code. The guy at the UPS store, however, had no idea what the process was and looked very confused when I told him, quote, "The process changes all the time and we're the last to know," unquote. He went on to say, Amazon communicates changes to UPS corporate, who then communicates to store corporate, who may or may not communicate to the individual stores. Usually the way we find out of a change like this is from the customer. Amazon, at 657,000 employees, infamously has an extreme dedication to customer focus. So it got my attention and I wondered how this could have happened. Perhaps the problem is in the disconnect between their process and the process of their key vendor, as in their culture is not similarly aligned. So what are the simplified rules for your company that will support frequent and ongoing changes, especially those that impact your customers? How will you ensure that your strategic partners are also aligned with those simplified principles? Here are a few suggestions. Number one, how can we simplify our customer experience at every step? Very powerful principle for any company to declare and follow. Number two, collaborate before decide. This simple principle can change everything about how your business operates. Number three, small change. Constantly tinkering and experimenting with continuous improvements and creativity rather than big sweeping programs and changes. Developing and living by a set of core values is another powerful method of ensuring simplicity. And this can be done whether you are an entrepreneurial startup or a huge company like IBM, who famously puts three values at the center of everything its 350,000 employees do. They are, first, dedication to every client's success. Second, innovation that matters for our company and for the world. Thirdly, trust and personal responsibility in all relationships. Having these principles is not the same as embedding them in your culture, by the way. Knowing does not equal doing. Having the posters on the wall does not equal having them in people's hearts. Enron famously had 4 nice-sounding values: integrity, communication, respect, and excellence. The way your core values are upheld, demonstrated, and lived by leadership is what creates simplicity for your organization. And you can see this in a family system. Children don't learn from what their parents tell them, they learn from what their parents do. Applies the same in business. By embedding core values in all of your leaders' hearts and minds, you can tolerate differences in diversity of decision-making from Malaysia to Montana to Miami. But the core values unify the organization and its people. This happens when everybody in the company knows, from the CEO to the front lines of the business, that everyone else is accountable to demonstrating the core values. I invite you to make this discussion a priority at your leadership team. What are the few simple principles that drive our organization toward innovation, growth, and change? That's it for today. In our final episode next week, we're going to discuss trust as the power and foundation of all agility in a culture. Please like, share, and subscribe to get the full series on cultural agility. We look forward to seeing you next week.